and welcome to another episode of Friends of the Forest. My name is Dale Mangold. I'm your host, and this is episode number 10, Laramore Strikes Back. Oh yes, if you're wondering why all the hats and the acoustic guitar, well, we'll get more into that in the Pick My Brain session. But this is the 10th song on the Ents Marching album by Forrest Of FangHorn. And it's the second song in the Laramore saga. So, like I said, we'll go and dive in more into the backstory of this song after we tell you and ask you to please subscribe, yes, and like the video, thumbs up, and hit that bell notification so you know when every episode of Friends of the Forest airs, which new episodes air each and every Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on our Forrest Of FangHorn YouTube channel. And if you'd like to be a guest on an upcoming episode, we are expanding, yes, worldwide. If you're an artist, band, or entertainer anywhere in the world, and you'd like to be on our show, email us at forrestoffangHornpgh@gmail.com. We'll email you back with all the details. It's very easy because we do everything electronically, so it's a piece of cake there. But if you happen to be in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area and you'd like to be on our show, we can even film your episode live right here in Treebeard Studio. And speaking of Treebeard Studio, next week's episode is Mr. Craig Veltri, and we filmed him live right here as well. So, we'll put all that information and the emails and the links to get in touch with us in the description below. But until then, let's sit back and dive right into this episode. All right, Laramore Strikes Back. This song is the 10th song on the Ents Marching album, and it is the second song in the Laramore saga. It features Mr. Luke Franks on trumpet. Luke plays trumpet with me in the Argonauts as well, and along with Mr. Dan Horgan on trombone on this song. He's from the book club. He makes his return on this song, and we'll talk a little bit later, but he and Luke just have this call and response in this song that is just simply phenomenal. A lot of improv stuff, which is a lot of what some of these tracks on our albums are. A lot of improv stuff, and my hats, pun intended, hats off to all these cool cats who played on this album for doing some really cool improv. Anyways, I digress. Mr. Dustin Vandehey from Portland, Oregon makes his return on guitar, and Larry Ganni comes back and lays down some cool drum parts. So Laramore Strikes Back, that's who's on this track, and let's talk to some of our guests.
You mess around with girls and you never grow old.
All right, our first guest is Mr. Dustin Vandehey. He is from Portland, Oregon. He laid down a couple different guitar tracks. I met Dustin through the New Artist Spotlight group, which I will put a link to their website in the description below. New Artist Spotlight is a fantastic group of independent artists and independent musicians from all around the world. Every type of genre, from rock to country to bluegrass to hip hop to classical, singer-songwriter, you name it. It's a great support group. It's a great way, and that's how Dustin and I met. We collaborated through our chat that we have, and we just reached out to each other. And so New Artist Spotlight, go ahead and check it out. There's a few upcoming guests actually that are New Artist Spotlight artists as well. Emily Gray, Map of Autumn, Big Bald Ben, and Zip Zap Zop are upcoming episodes as well. So anyways, getting back to Dustin, he laid down a couple guitar tracks on Tung Tung and Bagheera, and he's going to tell you a little bit about his recording process for this song. Hey, Dustin.
Hey, this is Dustin Vandehey coming from Portland, Oregon. I helped work on Tung Tung and Bagheera and Laramore Strikes Back on the Forrest Of FangHorn album. I recorded guitars. My process included using a Tokai Breezy Sound Telecaster and a PRS Soap Bar 2. I ran it through a Boss Katana amplifier direct into Proscenius Studio One. I also used a Mesa Boogie Mark IV amplifier and also ran that straight in to my laptop. And yeah, that's basically how I got the guitar tones, some fuzzy tones, a lot of clean, jazzy tones as well. So anyways, wanted to walk you through my process.
Thanks, Dustin, and I thank you again for being part of The Forest. Next up is Mr. Larry Ganni. Larry drums on this tune. You heard him on a couple of the other episodes, Life's a Game and Tung Tung and Bagheera as well. And Larry's going to just chat real briefly about his experience with this song.
With Laramore Strikes Back, that was just a lot of fun to play. I've been playing with this other band called the Cheerly Men, and I've been doing a lot of brush work with them, and it's really expanded what I'm able to do as generally a straight rock drummer. So to really apply some of that stuff I've been picking up has really, it's really exciting for me, and it was fun to record, and I just think it sounds really cool.
Larry, thank you as always, and you can catch Larry if you're in the Western Pennsylvania area of the United States. Larry drums with me and Mo Lisinski and Michael Petchek and Aaron J, who you've seen all throughout these episodes, and Pit Floyd. If you like Pink Floyd, we're a regional Eastern region area Pit Floyd tribute band in the United States, so you can check us out on pitfloyd.com there. But Larry, thank you so much for being part of The Forest as well. All right, now we get to the horns. On trombone, you've heard him on a number of our tracks on the album, Mr. Dan Horgan. He is a member of the book club. Check them out. I'll put a link in the description below. They are a fantastic up-and-coming ska band from the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. But Dan, tell us about some of the recording process when you were over tracking your trombone parts.
Laramore was a very interesting part to record because there's this call and response thing that's going on between the trumpet part played by Luke Franks and my trombone part. And when I went in to record, we didn't have the call part of the call and response recorded just yet. Luke hadn't been in to record, so I didn't really have anything to go off of necessarily. So I kind of had to lock in and make sure what I was playing was something Luke could still kind of go off of or backwards engineer. And it was also improv. So it was just, we put on a track and I kind of did whatever over it with that mindset. But it was fun. I love doing improv, and we also played around with a few different mutes for my part, a few different trombone mutes, and I play the Harmon a lot on that, which I think is an awesome sound. And the final product I think is really cool. And yeah, I hope people enjoy it because it was an interesting, but of course a very fun recording process.
Yes, thanks, Dan, again. And that's going to tie in to our feature artist, Mr. Luke Franks. Luke plays with me with the Argonauts. Luke is part of the Argonauts horn section, along with Zach Spondike and myself and Matt Needles. And he was the feature on the original, or I should say the first song of the Laramore saga, titled Laramore, from the Argonauts album. If you like funk, soul, and rock and roll, I'll put a link to the Argonauts site and you can check out not only Laramore but all of our other tunes as well. It's really fun, cool funk, soul, and rock and roll music. But anyways, on Laramore, Luke was the feature on this song, and I brought him back for Laramore Strikes Back, and he and Dan Horgan just kind of do a call and response, but I will let Luke tell you more about that recording experience.
Hi, this is Luke Franks. So my experience for recording my tracks for this album was I busted out, my SM57, my Focusrite up in my college dorm, and, downloaded some audio recording software, and, Dale sent me the tracks and all that, and it was fun to just kind of sit down and be in my own little personal studio and, figure out some parts that I thought sounded good for the most part. It was interesting because there was a call and response between me and Dan, the other horn player, and he was the response, but he recorded it first and I had to record it second with the call in there, so it was kind of interesting to make that happen and make it sound good. But all in all, for the Laramore stuff, I was just trying to sound as brassy and kind of funky as I could and just kind of fit the overall vibe of the songs and just, put something down that sounded good.
All right. Now this is the part of the show that I call Pick My Brain, or should I say Pick My Hat. Anyways, what the heck was I thinking about when I came up with the idea with Laramore Strikes Back? As I kind of mentioned a little bit briefly at the top of the show, with the Argonauts, we had a song that I wrote called Laramore. As Argonauts, as they sail around the world in the quest for the Golden Fleece, they meet many friends and many foes, and one of the mighty foes that we met was Laramore, the great Laramore, and you can listen about the Laramore tale on the Argonauts album. But Luke Franks was the feature horn player on trumpet on that song, and I wanted to continue the saga. So big Star Wars fan, if you can't tell. And The Empire Strikes Back, well, Laramore Strikes Back. It's a little darker feel to it. It's an instrumental. I didn't really feel the need to write any lyrics to this song, but it has, Luke back on trumpet. We had Dan Horgan on trombone, and it's still that open stage, nightclub, jazzy, smoky, 1940s nightclub feel, but you have the jazz horn players playing, but little do they know that Laramore is ready for his revenge as he strikes back with his guitar licks that Dustin Vandehey lays down. And you have this musical battle going back and forth, emotions high and low. And what's cool about doing an instrumental, just like with the song Tung Tung and Bagheera, I asked the musicians to kind of express their emotions, the highs and lows of their emotions through their instruments, and it sounded totally awesome. It the end product came out fantastic. And so anyways, that's a little bit about the backstory of Laramore Strikes Back. Will Laramore prevail? Will Luke rebound with his band of heroes in the horn section? Who knows? We have to wait till the next Laramore song comes out. But Laramore Strikes Back, yes, that's my Method of Madness and that song. And that just about does it for another episode of Friends of the Forest. I'd like to thank all my guests, Dustin Vandehey, Larry Ganni, Dan Horgan, and Luke Franks, for appearing on this episode and for doing a fantastic job on this song. Laramore Strikes Back is song number 10 on the Ents Marching album. I really appreciate everyone who has supported our album thus far. If you haven't, Ents Marching, it's on all the streaming services, downloading services. If you want to download it, obviously Apple Music and Bandcamp and everything like that, streaming, Spotify. And the album is finally all on Spotify. We had a little glitch there before, but everything is everywhere now. So links in the description. Basically just hit our link tree and you can find out all our social media sites: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Obviously you're on our YouTube channel already. So we thank everyone for your love and support of Forrest Of FangHorn, our Ents Marching album. I'd like to thank all of our guests that appeared on these first initial 10 episodes of Friends of the Forest. I can't thank you enough. I could not have had this album without you. And there's going to be more in the future. I'm going to make an official announcement very soon, but there's going to be some live Forrest Of FangHorn shows coming up in 2024, sprinkled out here and there, so stay tuned for that as well. My name is Dale Mangold. Beginning next week with next week's episode, we're branching out to artists, bands, and entertainers all over the world. So we're going to keep this going. Hit that subscribe button. We got to keep on adding to our subscribers. That way we can bring even more content and better content. And I just really appreciate everyone's love and support. As I said, new episodes Sunday nights, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all. Until next week, which our guest is going to be Mr. Craig Veltri. You will totally enjoy this episode. He's a fantastic musician from the Western Pennsylvania and also the Nashville, Tennessee area as well. So my name is Dale Mangold. We'll see you next week on Friends of the Forest. Peace and love, everybody.